Hello world, this is Kimberly and Conor Tracy here at Big Red SEO, aka
St. Patrick's headquarters?
We decided to do this video again from home. A couple of reasons why. One, the lighting is amazing. Two, we seem to get a lot more work done when we're here on Fridays. I don't know why. It's just like a thing that we're going with, right? We wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day early. This hat is, you can barely see me, So anyway, we're a little themed. We have a lot coming your direction. And hi, Conor.
I had a bunch of notes and I don't know what I did with them. I had a drink. I don't know what I did with that.
Do you want me to continue entertaining our audience
I'll
while
just
you go
leave.
get your notes?
Yeah,
go get your notes. Because he wrote like shit tons of notes.
I did. I got like
Go
4
get your
pages.
notes. I will continue talking.
Okay. I'll be back.
Okay, guys. So we've got a couple different things coming from all different directions. One, let me switch hats because I like to see my eyeballs. One, we had a massive Google update, which Conor's going to cover a lot of main bases with that, right? Every week we've been working on theming the session. So this theme, we want to work on you growing your online presence. There's actually several different things that we're going to recommend for you guys to do if you decide to do SEO on your own. If you've been following us for a while, you know, husband and wife team, we're located here in Omaha, Nebraska in the Exarban Village area. Let's see what else. We are very, 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 very intentional with educating our clientele as well as those that follow us. We do appreciate everybody that's reached out with different questions and so forth. We also want to make sure that we can kind of clean up the SEO industry, right? We've ran into several different situations where a lot of companies and individuals have kind of been burned with specific companies that do what we do here on a local and a national level, right? Our services are kind of one of those things that if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't really know if it was completed or it wasn't completed. Were the results there? Were they not there? And unfortunately, we've had to go in and clean up some stuff for different companies. And we want to try and give you guys as much information so you can get some stuff done yourself. Then if you run into you don't have enough time or you just don't even want to dick with it, right? Because time is of value, then you can reach out to us and then we can talk about how we can help you and so forth. Does that make sense? So to get started, Conor, Google.
You changed your hat.
I did change my hat. Here, let me change it back.
I'm slow to catch up on things.
No, Conor only has one hat. I have like two because one, I'm a woman.
I can get my bowler hat.
One, I'm a woman, and two, we like to change things up a little, right? Yeah. So, anywho, you have the best hat though. Like I've always been jealous of his hat. Look at the little. Look, it's not a 4-leaf clover. I know, like when I did that earlier, he was like, put your buckle straight, and I went like that, and I went the other way, because on the camera.
The camera's reversed.
Anyway, this is why we don't have props, guys. We get super distracted.
Okay, anyway.
Okay,
so question, are we wearing hats for the entire video?
Question, does anybody see us live?
Well,
I guess we should probably talk about that first, right?
We got Brandon in there. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
We can just entertain ourselves. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Hopefully the family's good. Aw, he's such a good guy. Okay, so back to the story. Back to the story. Conor, Google had a huge update.
Massive update.
Like, guys, Google updates things a lot, and we personally don't mind the updates. We usually get ahead of the curve, and we don't ever know that they're coming down the pipeline, but we follow the rules and guidelines. So when we get an update, we kind of get excited. Hey, Casey, how are you? We kind of get excited because, one, this guy gets to tear everything apart and figure out what changed, what didn't change, and then we figure out what do we need to do to help our clients basically position and pivot so they can actually get the enhanced benefit of the update, if that makes sense. Because there are some people that like to cut corners and do things that are not so great for online presence to be able to get quick, swift results. So if you are following the rules and you're doing everything consistently and then Google pushes out an update, you can actually like massively go forward, well, actually higher up in the rankings. That's how it would go versus that way, guys. Pen's going to go flying across the room here in a second. But anyway, so Google had a massive update.
So on March 12th, Google had a big update. Now, the information is still rolling out about it, and it's going to be a handful of weeks before everything gets nailed down as to what it caused or what it affected. But it was initially called the Florida 2 update, which is based around a PubCon event that was going on a few years ago that was also a March update called the Florida update. Go figure. So anyway, this is a March 2 update. Google later came out. They have confirmed it. Google rarely updates or confirms that there was a big update, but they have confirmed this. They have called it their March 2019 core algorithm update. And it's on the same levels of the August update of last year. It's on the same levels of the Medic update. We've talked about that, where it's the... a lot of websites in the medical field, either supplements field or things like that. It's what they call the money or your life kind of situation. So we're seeing a lot of information coming back from that field that's saying that they've seen results go up and go down and some sites penalized. And I saw one tweet where the guy said he had 10,000 articles in his website and that one took a massive hit. Now, obviously, if you've got 10,000 articles in your website, you're probably doing more than what your average SEO person would do, or your average business. So, but essentially, from what we can tell as to what's happened, it's a broad core algorithm update. Google again has said there's nothing you can do to fix it.
Yeah.
That it is
There's
what it is.
rarely ever a fix, guys. There's what we call, this is where we're a little bit different too, right? There is cleaning up, but there is no fixing, right? We actually have some companies that either they got in bed with somebody that said that they were a professional and they were not, or they tried to do some stuff themselves that was not, again, in the we usually focus on Google, right? But it's not in the guidelines of best practices, right? So they cheated the system, they didn't follow the rules, and some companies did so much damage that they actually had to scrap their entire website and start again, right? So like when there's a penalty, and you could probably share this brief story too, the way that we know that there's a penalty, because people don't usually announce it, right? It's not something that you want to announce as a business, but there are some main big box companies that have actually been penalized for bad practices in SEO as well. And one of the ways that you can tell, we go behind the curtains and look, but you can tell because they changed their URL, right? So like there's different big box companies, I won't say their names because I don't want us to have a knock, knock, knock on our door, but they don't use their whole name anymore in their URL, or there's some kind of different way that they do their URLs, and some average customers would never notice, right? It's just
even,
a thing.
Even local companies, whether it's a plumber or a window cleaner or anything else, and their domains are changing every couple of years because you do a handful of things, you get bumped up in the search engines, and then you change everything, you change direction again. One of the things, it was interesting, I had read a thing, I actually wrote it down, it was that good. And now I just got to find it.
He rarely takes notes, guys. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I can stall. Hi, everybody. Casey, how is your business going? Oh, man. Like, I was just bonding with our audience.
So it was talking about SEO audits and taking reviews of things and what to do when you do find issues that are going on. But one of the scenarios was that a doctor doesn't just pick a disease and then provide pills.
Well, it depends on the doctor.
It depends on the doctor, I'm sure.
Well, I watch a couple reality shows, and that just might not be correct.
Right, but essentially the thing is that, they're not going to say, oh, you've got a headache. Great. All right, well, it's probably the flu. Take all of this crap, Now, there are definitely some doctors that do that, but we're not talking about those. But the same thing happens when it comes to the audits or when it comes to the algorithm updates. There's a lot of things that have changed within it. People are saying that it's Penguin related, it's Panda related, it's the Medic update. I talked about that. So there's lots of different parts to it. But essentially, if you're doing good stuff, if all your schema is up to date, if your title tags and descriptions are up to date, if you're using the right H tags, whether it's H1s through H3s, all that stuff all has to be done, your alt tags on images. If you're following all of those rules and your linking scheme is clean, then you shouldn't have too much of an issue. generally
In
when an
theory.
update comes out.
In theory,
now,
yeah.
there's certainly some parts, like we're doing some cleanups on a website where we're removing certain H tags because there might be too many of them on there. We're changing how that's working. There's content being added to pages. So there's a
There
handful
was
of...
one site that we went to on their homepage had like...
You can't laugh at the clients.
No,
Come on now.
there are clients now. They hired us to clean it up.
There are
I could
clients
laugh.
now. We
I
can
could
laugh at them.
They would laugh with me. So anyway, on their homepage, there was like 200, 300 words, right? And their keyword was in it like 15 to 20 times. It's like classified as keyword stuffing, guys.
Oh, it was bad.
I'm not going to say the industry, but at some point you've got to realize that there's such a thing as over optimization, and it can actually get you into a lot of trouble. You know, the search engines themselves have said that people are not allowed to manipulate the search engines, right? Like, we don't go and manipulate this system or the search engine, right?
Yeah, we don't manipulate
Instead,
Google.
what we do is we actually just go and enhance the site, enhance the off-site practices, like the NAP, the name, address, phone numbers, directory listings, quality links, and so forth. And then we bring it all back together and we say to search engines like Google, hey, we've got this value-added website. They're stepping forward as an industry leader. Come crawl their website, crawl their content. So like, we don't actually manipulate the search engines in general.
Aiden is on here. Hi, Aiden.
Instead-
Colin. Hi, Colin.
Hey guys!
Sorry, I'm
and
just
Casey
catching
said her
up.
business
Sorry.
is doing good too. You
Thanks,
interrupted
Casey.
her, and
I'm
I was like,
sorry.
"Oh, hey, yeah." So I put her a little love note on there.
There you go.
So she did get taken care of by
Good.
me,
By
me,
you,
by
yeah.
me,
Well,
because you forgot. You forgot your notes.
I
You
was
were-
in the middle of...
I know, you get so excited.
Thoughts.
You're so excited. So yeah, so Google had a massive update in all different ways, all
Yeah.
different areas.
And it's, for the most part, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But do have a look at your analytics. See if you got that drop or if you got that boost. We're seeing a lot of clients that actually got an uptick in traffic in the last couple of days. So
I had
a
an
look. experience
experience this afternoon, and I don't know if I had an aha moment. I don't know if you've experienced this or not, but here's what I will tell you. Search engines, i.e. Google, is always testing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always, always, always. So I didn't pay attention to this last week when it happened or the week prior, but I went to Google a company and I looked for their contact information, and I was mainly looking for the icon, like there's like the phone, get directions,
She's
all that
drawing
jazz.
stuff on the
So like
paper.
there's the circle for the phone, and then directions and map
Can
and
anybody
review.
see that?
I don't know.
No, nobody
I don't,
can
you
see
guys
that.
know what I'm talking about. I think
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But anyway, I went to go call, and the phone, the phone for the call in the Google My Business thing wouldn't work. The link wouldn't work. And it kept like flipping up to the top of the screen, right? And I was
For the
like,
call?
wow, that's weird. Yeah, so I would click on my phone, like I Googled this company, Hotel Deco, basically. I Googled Hotel Deco, and it had an ad, and then it had their business, my Google Business directory part. I clicked the call button and it flipped back up to the ad. And I'm like, what in the world? And I'm like, I clicked the call button again, and me just being me, I'm like, oh, my phone's messed up, right? Like, it's my fault, my
Which it
technology
probably
problem.
is.
So anyway, I tried it again and it didn't work. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, maybe it is my phone. So I clicked the directions and the map popped up. So it wasn't actually my phone, right? So I clicked back and I clicked the call again, and actually they pushed it up to the ads because the ads had the phone number. So I had to click the ad to be able to call the client.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, cha-ching. Like, it was, it could be a fluke, but this isn't the first time that it's happened. There's been multiple times where that call button is actually deactivated. It does not work. And instead I have to copy the actual phone, or I have to click the ad in order to call the client.
Did you notice that the...
I don't know if I was supposed to say that on Facebook Live, guys.
Did you notice that the ad, so we've talked about this before, where they change a little badge, it's green, then it's orange, and now the badge...
It was a green ad.
Okay, so as of yesterday, at least, when I was doing some testing, the label is now black.
Oh, weird.
And it's
So it
just
must be something
the
else that they're
AD
testing.
is in black.
It was super.
Not a box,
It was
but,
super crazy. I was like, "What in the?" I like literally thought it was my technology, and then I remember this happening. Like last week, I googled a company, and the week before, and I think I just thought, "Oh, it's just me. I googled it wrong, or I clicked the wrong thing." But it's actually the action button of call. So you, in theory, should be able to click that and call, and everything goes through.
So I don't know if I should. I will. I'll go ahead and please treat this with a grain of salt as you perform this practice. Okay.
It's Conor's disclaimer.
That's my disclaimer. I do not fully endorse this, but it does somewhat work. If you're running Facebook ads, you can run your Facebook ads, send the link to a redirect within your page, which redirects the user back to Google My Business.
Yeah.
So it redirects onto the Google Business page. This will drive traffic over there. It's going to help the impressions of that. It's going to show Google that people are searching for your business, and you gained all the traffic through Facebook. The user still gets all the information they were looking for, whether it was a contact, whether it was a phone number or directions.
I think
images.
he just gave you guys an awesome strategy.
It's a huge nugget of information. But
so and today's theme was grow your online presence.
Definitely.
And the thought process is the things that you could do on your own. So that's a huge nugget for people to
test. That
right?
is a huge item that most SEO companies will not share with you.
And here's the deal is we were in a huge corporation, which we got the contract, right? But they like walked in and they were like, hey, like, you know, a lot of people in your industry state that they don't like whenever traffic goes to Google My Business versus the website from an SEO perspective and all that jazz. And we actually prefer it, like we want people to go to the website for conversions, but we do two different things, right? We definitely optimize the site on page, right? And off page, but we also help enhance the Google My Business. The point is, are the calls coming in? Are the leads coming in? Yep. Are you getting your ideal client and not just riffraff? You're still going to get some riffraff, right? Which if you're good at sales, you can convert riffraff or just determine are they ideal or are they not.
Yeah, you can usually read that out in a couple of seconds.
Yeah. So the thought process is as you're growing your online presence, like you will have to try different stuff to figure it out, right? So if your end goal is to get more visitors to your website, this is one thing that people miss out a lot. They'll have an intention to send out a company newsletter, right? And they'll put all their details in the company. Getting my keyboards up here. They'll put all their details.
It's kind of creepy when we both do it. Everybody do it. Woo.
They'll put all their details in the newsletter, right? Which is super great. All value-added content and information. Mm-hmm. But then they actually don't link the client to their website, right? So, like, what's the whole point of a newsletter? What's the intention of a newsletter? Are you trying to get people to engage in your website? Are you giving them a promotion? If you want to just send a newsletter just to send a newsletter with a promo, cool, no big deal. But what would it look like if you actually created a page inside your site with the promo, drove traffic to that, then all of a sudden they land on your site, they find the promo information, they learn more about you from your About Us page. Hopefully, if you've been following us for a while, you have a frequently asked questions page so they know how does the process work? Do you allow returns? Do you not allow returns? What's the communication policy? And then all of a sudden, they will start to feel that you really care and you have a passion for what you do, right? That you're there to help educate. Then, if you have a blog and you have useful, unique content in that blog, boom, now you have a follower that'll come back and actually read your blog and read your information, right? Couple different techniques to look at and test. We're throwing it all different directions for you guys today because one, we're wearing green hats. Isn't that fun? Two, it's sunny outside in Nebraska. So
finally we have sun. It's been storm and ice and the rivers are overflowing and towns are having issues. But there's that downer note. Count on me for that.
Right. So
before you go forward, you were talking about.
He wants to talk.
I know. I just have pages, but you were talking about the keyword stuffing end of things, and that there was too much of it on there. So one way of getting around that, again, another piece of the puzzle,
another tidbit,
another huge one that again SEO people don't share with you.
Huge tidbit.
But the website is called UberSuggest. And if you go there and you type in what your keyword is that you're trying to go after, this will tell you like-minded phrases or questions that people ask about it. So if you're looking for window cleaning, maybe this is going to tell you, people are actually searching for double pane, or people are searching for window cleaning for 2-story houses, or whatever it happens to be. But go to UberSuggest. That's going to have a lot of extra things in there. So now instead of having 20 words on there stuffing all your keywords in there 20 times, you can use different variations of it and it won't come off as spammy to the search engines.
It's kind of interesting when we go to a website and we do an audit, we can tell somebody that's like went through the motions to create content to go through the motions from SEO perspective, or if they're actually trying to communicate with their end user. Or here's another thing that people do. They read that you need content updated on your site consistently, and then they just talk about anything and everything that has nothing to do with their industry, right? So they wind up just putting words into their site. So it's usually one of the three. Every once in a while, like last week, the week prior, we had a client that like aces, gold stars across the board. She does a really, really good job, not only in her online presence, but how she creates the content. And she's really gotten it figured out. And the cool part about it is she figured it out without really needing a whole lot of guidance from anybody else, right? So we're able to help her amplify that even further and gain more audience. But yeah, so like with content creation, just make sure there's an intention and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, if you stay with the basics and stay with what's called the evergreen content, you know, your frequently asked questions, your about information, your product information and services. I mean, that's really where you should be at.
And the other thing too is like, yeah, if you have a product or you have a service, but people are actually buying you. I mean, I know that they're buying the product and the service, right? But if you're behind and you're creating and you're doing, share the story of you. Like, I think like nowadays, like people like either try to go so corporate, which I understand. But like people vote with their dollars, right? They vote with who they do business with. They vote with what they want to own and what they want to add to their collections. So why not show them the behind the scenes and actually step forward that way, right? Why not give them a glimpse of what it looks like? Because here's the deal, guys. At the end of the day, you're trying to grow your business. I want to remove try. You're actually growing your business. That's the intention, right? But then also to go cosmic, you're also motivating a lot of other people to also become business owners if they're on the ledge of wanting to do it. So why not share that story? Why not share the growth that you're going through? I mean, sometimes I have clients that want to share like the trials and tribulations. You got to kind of be careful with that and clean it up just a bit, right? And lean forward more from a motivation standpoint, right? Like if you have productivity tips, then put them out on your website and figure out how to integrate them into your business, right? If you love behind the scenes and maybe you've got some big corporate clients, but you don't toot your horn very often, maybe you find a way to do like a spotlight for a client in a project and so forth. You don't have to necessarily name drop, but you can share that process and share that area, right?
Definitely.
So just a couple things to think about, especially whenever you're creating blog content, right? This hat's getting pretty itchy.
All right, switch up.
I'm like, my ears
There
are
you
itchy.
go.
Hello, guys. Okay, so what else you got on the list, Connor?
The other big one that I had, so it was another big update. Not what?
I'm like, how do you wear this?
You can wear it any way you want. If you want to go tilt it, you can.
I don't know if this is made for shaved-headed ladies. Maybe guys. I don't know. Like,
okay.
It's all about Kim right now.
Yeah,
okay.
You can watch yourself rewatching yourself.
I know. It's so funny to rewatch the watch.
So the other big update that came out, WordPress came out with an update, 5.1.1. It is a security release. If you're using any of the managed WordPress hosting companies, they've already got it taken care of. But if you're doing your own WordPress stuff, make sure you get that update done. So 5.0 is one thing, 5.1 is another, 5.1.1 is the security update. Get that done.
Done. Make a backup. Make a backup before you do it and make a backup after you do it.
Definitely. Yeah,
Definitely make a backup. Backup, and then download it on your desktop and then put it somewhere.
Yes, making the backup and keeping it with the hosting company and then that server failing is not a good thing.
Yeah. So make a backup and then download it.
Keep it
and
somewhere.
then something that you do is we have a Dropbox account. So he makes the backup, downloads, and then adds it to our Dropbox.
I add it to Dropbox. I also add it to Google Drive.
And an external hard drive, just because we like to be super careful with our own site.
Extremely paranoid.
I don't know if it's paranoid. We're just super careful. Technology's kind of fluky sometimes.
Yeah, so the thing is that I've had things fail in the past, and it's going to take me all of 20 seconds to copy it from place to place.
You know what you have not had fail in the past? Me. I'm pretty awesome, guys.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
We running out of time? Oh, look, we're almost out of time.
Okay, what else you got on your list? You had so many notes.
I did, but you know what? I don't know
Are you done?
I don't know if I want to cover them all.
Oh, okay.
No, there was two other big things.
He's like, did you guys feel that? He was all back. I don't know if I want. Okay, let me tell you everything.
So Facebook, Instagram, they had issues there the other day. You experienced that. When they went
Yeah,
offline.
people made comments on my things, and I still can't read the comments, but it says there's comments, but I don't see the comments.
Yep. So there were some issues.
I even checked to see if I blocked people, but I don't block people.
Very often.
Very often. I have in the past, guys. The unfollow and the snooze are amazing things on Facebook.
Snooze is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But usually I just hit unfollow if I
Yeah, are you kidding me? You just click unfriend.
Yeah, I did. Unfriend. Sorry, I thought it was the same button.
No, it's not. It is to me. Unfollow is, hey, I don't really resonate, but I don't want to make it super awkward, so I'll just unfollow you and you won't come in my newsfeed.
No, I'll tell you.
And then what happens, guys,
is
this is how you get busted. So if you're around, someone, like say you're at the coffee shop and there's a Jimmy John's next to them, even if you've unfollowed someone, if they're in the Jimmy John's and you're at the coffee shop, they'll show up in your newsfeed again. Like Facebook, like does the, because Geo, like over Trump's. Oh, I said the word.
There goes our video.
Boom! It like goes over your unfollow. So they have like preferences, but they still win.
And the content, the content that you use in your videos do affect your rankings of your videos.
Yeah, and the other thing too is if you talk about the person. It's just really creepy. If you talk about the person and you say their first and last name, all of a sudden they'll show in your news feeds too.
But isn't that the law of attraction?
Yeah, it is universal law of attraction too, but our technology has ears.
Well, it does too, yes.
Especially with Facebook Live and videos, and now you can make calls and So
anyway, Facebook
just
had a big outage.
Start saying weird words like shmishmortion, and then all of a sudden your ads will show shmishmortion. If shmishmortion is shmishmortion even a thing? I don't even know shmishmortion.
Totally
it sounds really cool to say though. Shmishmortion.
Yes.
It's like shmishmortion.
All right, stop.
Shmishmortion. Shmishmortion, guys.
I've lost full control of this, guys.
It's the hat. I swear to God, it's that. Okay, so we've.
All right, how are we on time? Do we need to stop that real quick?
Yeah, you got about 4 minutes. We shared a lot of different stuff. So here's a couple other things. We have a lot of people that come. They get in contact with us or come to us, and they typically start with, hey, I'm kind of small meat and potatoes, or hey, I'm kind of a small business. I don't have a big budget. Hey, I don't really have a lot of funds. I don't have a lot of things, but I need to be able to get these things done. So we actually went through our content from our website. So we'll share the article link down below. But we went through our content and our website, and we actually found an article where we shared 4 things that you can do today to make a massive impact on your website from an SEO perspective, just by yourself, right? And these are not new things, guys. So it might sound very redundant, but we're going to hammer it home again, right? Because it's all important. Yes, I know. So you're fine. So go ahead and restart it if you want.
All right,
I'll
guys,
pause.
give me just 1 second here.
He's like freaking out because there's like a camera and then a camera. Stick with us. It's awesome. Do the thing, Conor. Shaping. There we go. Restart. Shaping. I don't know. Did it work? Yes. Okay, we're back. Okay, so here's 4 things that you can do. Again, we've talked about these before, but if you have a pen and paper, you can write them down, your phone, make notes. Our intention is that you take action on these, right? Number 1 way that today you can make the biggest impact on your online presence is ensure that your website has unique content. By unique, it means you've not copied it from somebody else. Mm-hmm. You have not copied and pasted from some other material, right? Like you have written it into your own words. It sounds like you. It sounds like your language. You are speaking to your clientele, right? So create unique content. Make sure that it's useful. So don't write about something just to write about something. If you need to keep it basic, say that you have a process that you do. In your homepage, talk about you, talk about who you serve, what location that you serve, who your ideal client is, what brings you passion. These are like some basic stuff, right? On the useful content, talk about your processes. If you have 3 common questions that come up all the time, talk about them. If you're a personal trainer, go grab a magazine that's on the shelf right now and figure out what are people talking about in the magazine. It's more than likely going to trigger other questions that people are going to want to have, right? And they want it from your voice. So step forward and actually serve that, right? Mm-hmm. So that's there. Number 2 is ensure that your titles and your descriptions are filled out. Okay, so what this means is when you go to do a Google search, again, my keyword's up here, there's going to be a blue or purple text. That's actually your titles, right? And then below that is your descriptions. So here's the deal. A lot of people don't know that that's actually there. And instead what they do is they just leave it blank. And then so that just scrapes from your website, right? It's just going to scrape whatever material that's there. And it's not really conversion quality content. So the key hint is you can fill these out, but when you fill them out from a sales perspective. So the more call to action feel, the higher chance that you've got that somebody's going to click through and actually go in. Right? So
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
So the awesome things to put in there are things that are unique about you, or things that are social call-outs.
Yeah.
So by the social call-outs, I'm talking about if you have an A+ BBB rating, or you're a member of a particular organization,
Yeah.
or you've had 45 5-star reviews. Use those in that title. Use that nobody else can.
Yeah.
Or your speed of turnaround. You know, one of the things with Jimmy John's is freaky fast.
Unless you're in the Exarban Village area and it takes 30 minutes, just saying.
Yes, that is true. They do take a while over there.
Yeah.
Even the dog was not
Yeah,
happy with that.
she like tuned in on that one. She's like, yes,
There
you
we go.
hear him. Okay.
So anyway, use those social call-outs on those CTAs and those
Yeah,
accounts.
and so here's the other thing too, is we actually have, sometimes depending on what product we're working for, if it's emotional based, we'll use like wow and awesome, right? We'll use different terms that like just capture people to convert them, right? Again, you can leave it blank and it's just going to pull content from your site, but why not step forward and actually fill that out? Now here's the tricky parts. Titles and descriptions are an important process for SEO. However, they actually don't manipulate the search engines. What they do is they actually help the end users be able to skim the page, and believe it or not, if it's filled out, people's intentions go to yours before somebody else's, right? It's like a psychological, oh, they filled something out, they're talking to me, versus it just pulling content from wherever, right?
And that's what Google does. If you don't fill them out, Google just pulls content
It just
off
pulls
the
it.
page.
So like here's the example. So like if you don't really have a lot of content and it's all images on your homepage, but all the content you have is your copyright, guess what's going to go in the meta description tag? It's going to be your copyright, and that's it, right? So like there's, or if somebody's put something in your site and you didn't know about it, you'll show up for somebody else's stuff. That's usually not a circumstance you want to have happen, but it does happen. Like sometimes designers put wrong content in wrong places because the client didn't check out their site. We had a couple prospects come to us that we converted clients for those. Okay, so that's number 2, right? Number 3, y'all.
Info,
it's the
info.
hat, I
Bam.
swear. It's the hat. Okay, number 3. Ensure you have proper URL structure. So if you're not technical, I'm going to break this down for you. So if you have product 7777, don't put that in your URL. Right? Instead, if you're selling paper, quality paper, writing paper that has birds on it, you would want your URL to say recycled high quality paper with colorful birds. Mm-hmm. Right?
Might be a little long.
It might be a little long. You can shrink it up a little bit more, right? But the key point is the URLs actually help whenever you write what the product is about, right? From a structure standpoint. Mm-hmm. So like what we had one prospect come to us, which we're super excited to bring them on board this month, but they came to us and it was like service 796, right? And their industry is a trades industry. So why would you not put the name of the trade industry in the URL?
Right.
Right?
And the model number makes sense to contractors because they might be doing a search for that particular thing. But the average end user is the ones who are going to be searching online.
And here's the deal is like systems, depending on your order system, like a shopping cart, yeah, it might be default, like put the product number, but you can customize and change this, guys. Like this is where you take it the next level from an SEO perspective. Again, the URLs just help in the process of best practices, right?
And just to tag on to the top of that, because I made a note here on that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was making notes yesterday
So
on something completely different.
We're so connected.
And you're actually talking about right here, the URL, where's it at?
Right here.
Target, yes. So the target keyword...
I actually
it's
found
actually
it
at the
in his
bottom.
notes.
It's my number. But targeting keywords in a URL the target word that you want to go after, put that as close to the beginning as possible.
Yes.
So again, going with your recycled paper situation, if people are searching for recycled paper, printing paper, then you put recyclable first.
Yeah.
Whereas, others might put birds that are recyclable paper. Which is
it's a weird.
Totally different page.
But it could be colorful bird recycled high quality paper. I don't know.
Paper.
Like, here's the deal. It's like, you guys would have to figure it out, right? But if you
or hire Kim to figure it out.
Or hire us, right? But the thing is like, figure out how to help your end user, especially adding the keyword inside. Here's the deal. Caveat, disclaimer, ching, ching, ding. If you decide to change your URL structure now, you do have to do 301 redirects.
Yes.
Okay, so if you change the structure of your URLs, you have to go through that process. I think on our website, you could just do a search in our blogs for URLs, redirects, and I think there's some information.
You can do a search for redirect, you can do a search for 301.
But you have to do that, guys, right? Because if not, if somebody bookmarked an old link from you and it's no longer there, they're going to get a 404 page error, right?
And more important, if Google has already indexed that page, they need to know where it went to. If there's any links that were out there to that, you want to make sure those are coming through.
Is this helpful for you guys so far? If so, put a Y in the chat part, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and you know these three things, right? Because now we're going to roll into number 4.
Number 4. I got to get back to my paper.
I know, right? Number 4, and we've talked about this in multiple different videos, right, guys? Number 4 is your name, address, phone number has to be consistent. Okay, so what this means is there's different directories out there that pull and scrape content from your website. Number 1, best practice for you is on your actual website, make sure that your address is put correctly. Ensure that it's spelt out if you want to have it spelt out. The company name's correct. It's the same. Make sure that you wind up having the correct phone number. So sometimes people start a business and they start with a cell phone and then they decide to get like a Google Voice number, right? Well, what happens is the Google Voice number becomes their primary, but they never clean up their cell phone number. And then all of a sudden Google specifically is like, hey, we've got 2 phone numbers. We're not sure what the primary is. Mm-hmm. So from you guys, 1, make sure on your website that you actually have your phone number updated. Make sure on your Facebook that you actually have your phone number updated on all your social media platforms, right? These different directory listings that crawl those places first, right? If you have 2 phone numbers, for the love of cheese, pick 1 phone number. I get it. I understand. Now, if you have a Des Moines phone number and you have a Kansas City phone number, cool. Put them all on your website. The search engines will determine different locations, right? Mm-hmm. But for like, just don't have multiple phone numbers if there just is 1 phone number needed. It's really critical. Yeah. If you have tons of stuff out there in all different locations, even if you move offices, guys, you got to go and clean up those past records, because if not, the search engines get confused. Where are we going to put you on the map? Where are we going to put the geo of you on the map? If that makes sense.
Yeah. If you have multiple phone numbers and it's all being answered by the same person, change them. Now, as Kim said, if you have an office in Kansas City or you have an office in Grand Island or whatever, and that's going out to a different salesperson, use a different number. But if they're all going to the same place, just use the one. And Cox is a good example of that. It's something that they have a residential phone number and then they have a business line phone number, and you can call either one. Now, there's other numbers, but those are the 2 primaries.
Yeah, and here's the deal, guys, is that a lot of times whenever you're doing your NAP, especially with your Google My Business, make sure you put images in these profiles, guys. Mm-hmm. Don't just set it and forget it. Like, search engines don't like that, right? So this is number 5. This is a bonus tip. I'm just going to give the whole thing away here.
I thought we were done.
Okay, so number 5 is with your Google My Business, update that information pretty consistently. You can rewrite your description, right? You can add images, you can add videos, right? If you want to feature themed things for the seasons, you can do that. The search engines actually prefer that.
Yeah, there's a couple of areas in there. So if you're running services, you can list all your services or list your products. Yeah. If you're a restaurant or a bar, you could actually upload your entire menu. Yeah. And that'll all get searched.
Mm-hmm. They also have where you can book appointments now on that part. So if you don't even want to deal with any of that stuff on your own website, you can. Again, we're always going to tell you to go back to your website website and drive traffic, so you control it. But these are things that you, as a business owner or a marketing individual or a freelancer, you can do yourself, right? People hire us the majority of the time because they don't want to dick with it and they don't have time.
It's just a timing issue.
It's like there's not a magic recipe specifically for SEO. And if somebody says that, you need to run for the hills as fast as you can, right? Yeah. When it comes to marketing, there's different techniques that you can apply and test. We always recommend focus on one thing, master it, right? Focus on one thing, master it. However, eventually you'll get to the point where you'll master one thing, two things, three things, and then you can add more to master. Does that make sense?
So with the Google Business, you're calling it Google My Business, which was the name of it. It's now
is it called
changed.
Something else?
It's now just called Google Business.
Oh, cool.
So even
it's GB, guys.
Yeah.
GB.
Well,
hey Beth, how are you? I hope life's doing good. We need to get coffee sometime soon.
Bring me back a coffee.
I miss Beth. No, it's not about you. It's not about you.
So anyway,
not about you.
With the Google My Business, there's the area inside of there, which is the Google Posts.
Yeah.
So take your services, take your products, or like what we do a weekly video. We summarize that, throw that into a Google post, and that goes out.
By we, he means him. Because once I do the video, I'm like, checked out, I'm done. I did my part. Okay, so
yes, so use the Google post because it does matter. So just like you're going to use your Facebook stuff, put it onto Google Posts. Now you can go ahead and move to the next topic.
I'm just admiring that his shamrock matches his t-shirt, kind of, guys. Isn't that cool? He's like color coordinated.
It depends on the video you're looking at.
Yeah, so you guys would have to go. So when he does this, video and he does whatever he does, I don't know what the lingo is, compiles it. I don't know.
Right.
That's totally. This is my non-area.
So this is our YouTube. The
YouTube is like super wicked bright.
Yeah, so the Facebook
seems
one,
bright, but it's kind of not bright.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I'm using a 4K camera on the Facebook, but when you put it up onto Facebook, it compresses it all down to 720 DPI. So
he's going tech, guys.
I know I'm going real tech.
Beth understands you though.
I'm sure she does.
She'll
yeah.
Get you.
So
She's a video
anyway,
person.
It shrinks down the video. The quality gets a lot smaller or blurrier. Now, when you go and try to blow that up on a screen, we're going to look a little pixelated and so forth. If you go over onto Google,
I never look pixelated.
Right. If you go onto Google, you can watch it in full HD or actually in 4K. We're using a separate camera for that, which is why there's always a pause every 30 minutes because video cameras can't go longer than 30 minutes.
We need to get him a stretch arm where he just stretch arms.
Honestly, I need to do my own separate video on this piece, so watch for that. Go to YouTube. Here's the link.
Make a note.
There you go.
Make a note. Put it on YouTube.
Go onto our YouTube. It's at youtube.com/BigRedSEO. I will put a video on there on why you should be doing a higher quality video.
Make sure you write that down so you don't forget.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's going to forget soon. He'll be like, what was that thing? And
what was that thing I was going to do?
What was that thing I was going to do?
It's the other 40,000 things I was looking at.
And he's working on getting YouTube subscribers. So go subscribe to his stuff.
Yeah, I need a handful of YouTube
subscribers
subscribers over there. So
okay, so
do.
Before you do these tasks that we've talked about in this video, guys, a couple things. One, you want to ensure that you have Google Analytics installed on your website. If you do not have it installed, reach out. I think we have a blog article possibly of that process. It's not very hard. Google Analytics is free.
And it's free.
So make sure that you actually have that installed on your site before you make any changes. If you already have it installed, cool. You could put like some kind of marker in the thing that says SEO updates, or you can create notes to show a line in the date system, right?
There's a section inside there called annotations.
Yeah.
And you can pick whatever the date is and just make a note. So we
Keep
make
it
a
simple.
note every time we make it.
You can put it in there and be like, Kim and Connor SEO tips. I don't know.
Maybe. Basically, I
Can they
use
not
it.
put my name?
They can do whatever they want.
I see.
I use it when we do a major change. So if we're changing where the call to action is on our site, we're moving that to a different location, or an entire rewrite of content, I make notes with our analytics for that. The fact that Kim said, hey, go do whatever, I don't make notes on that. So
So make sure you have it installed. If you
Yes.
already have it installed, cool, you're ahead of the game. Make sure that you put a tracker in that says, hey, I've made these edits and I've made these changes. And then come back and check in like 30 days. You can check weekly, bi-weekly. We don't recommend you checking every day. So it's kind of one of those, if you do, make sure you cut cords and you kind of just remove the emotion and the judgment out of it. Because with SEO, the prospect is like, you can go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and then all of a sudden you'll skyrocket up, and that's what makes us all happy. But just like, don't judge it on a day-to-day occurrence.
And with that, so even with the Google Analytics going in there, also go to the section called Google Webmasters. Used to be the Google Search Engine Console. Go there, register your domain on there.
They name things over and over. It's so crazy. We need a blog article of just all the names. Be like, this was named to this, and this was named to this. Anyway.
I'm just going to wait for Kim.
Just a shh. He's trying to tell me to shh. Okay.
So anyways, the Google Webmasters section, once you link that up with your domain, that'll then tie into your Google Analytics. You'll be able to track what words people are using to find your website, where the things came from. Did it come from a YouTube video? Did it come from a Facebook video? Did it come from, something else altogether, Twitter? You can track all of that. But your Google Webmaster Tools is a great little ranking system or tracking system that allows you to see just where on the charts your website was listed. Were you in the number 4 spot? Were you in the number 30 spot? And
here's the deal. Whether you get 5 visitors to your website or you get 2,000, be as excited for the 5 as you would the 2,000. So, don't use judgment towards yourself. Don't get upset and disappointed. Definitely, just step back and be like, okay, cool. What else can I do? What else content can I add that's of value? How can or not even how, what do my clients want to hear? Don't be afraid to reach out to prospects and friends and be like, hey, I'm looking to build a blog. What questions do you normally have? Do you even know what I do in my industry? That's a great question to ask. So just try to keep away from the emotion side of it and celebrate the small stuff as much as the big stuff, guys. This growing your online presence, the people that kind of lean into it and make it a fun process and grow, their results are by far tenfold better than somebody that's just it's not there yet. I'm wasting all this time. Just even from an energetic standpoint, it's super sticky, right? So just lean into it. You don't have to be a super expert. That's why we're here. If you have questions specifically, feel free to share them on the Facebook Lives. We're happy to answer on the fly. And that's all we got today. We're celebrating St. Patrick's Day with our hats.
Still don't have my drink in hand.
I might actually wear this hat all day.
Yeah?
Maybe not. I don't know. My hat blew off yesterday because of the wind in Nebraska. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Ashley joined. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. You can actually find us on YouTube. Again, it's...
Kim goes there all the time. Where's it at,
He went stupid.
There it is.
Okay, so youtube.com/BigRedSEO. You can find us there. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/BigRedSEO. We will be tuning in next Friday. However, this dude is headed over to the salty air in the beach section of the world.
The beach section? No. I'm going to where there's sand. It's a desert. There's no ocean anywhere near
Well, you might end up at the ocean, hopefully. So anyway, he's going to be in California. So he will be in California next weekend, throughout next week. So if you're in the area or around...
next week.
Well, you're there from Friday to Tuesday.
I'm there for 3 days. But I'm... Wednesday, here you go. Monday I'm not around. Tuesday I'm flying back. Friday I'm flying in. So I'm there Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday.
The wife thought he was gone for 5 days. I guess I gotta make you go somewhere else for 5 days. I don't know. So. Anyway, if you're in the area, you want to pop over and have a cup of coffee or whiskey with this dude, feel free to ping him.
Definitely.
He's setting up his schedule right now. Other than that, we've got some cool events coming down the pipeline for small businesses specifically. Some of them will be in person. Other ones will actually be webinars. We're working on launching a podcast. I'm super excited.
We are.
Yeah, I'm excited because I didn't tell him yet. Okay, so anywho, stay with us, follow us, let us know if you need any help with anything.
We got the giant mic for the podcast. Here's the freaking
Yeti mic. I'm not allowed to get I gotta stay quiet. I blow the thing out all the time. is like boom.
All right, guys.
All right,
We're out
guys.
of here.
Have a
That's our
great
website,
weekend.
bigredseo.com. If I go this way. There you go.
Aww.
Bigredseo.com.
Oh, all right, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. We will chat with you next week and have a good one.
All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day and all that fun stuff.
Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, this was episode 48.
48.
We're
Boom.
getting close. Getting
Boom.
close.
Alrighty.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.